experiment.
Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about a movie that I had been very much anticipating because it stars James Caan, which we all know from Misery, one of my favorite movies of all time, let alone my favorite Stephen King film. This movie is called The Good Neighbor. I had really high expectations, but then going into it, I read online like a bunch of people that didn't like it. So I was like, maybe it's not that good. The movie starts out and we're following these two kids, basically they're high schoolers, which I watched this with my boyfriend, and we were both questioning, are they high schoolers? Because I don't know if they really made that evident in the film because they're drinking beer, and the people themselves who played, the actors who played these high school students are like 25 in real life, 24. So I was like, are they college students doing a project or are they high school? So I don't know if they said that in the film. This also stars Kier Gilchrist, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who I love. He's in The United States of Tara, which is a very underrated show, I feel like, on Netflix. Also, this stars Logan Miller, which I thought was funny because as I was looking up the actors, I tend to do that when I'm watching a movie. I'm like, what about him? What's going on with him? What's his zodiac sign? You know, who cares? But I just get curious, and as I was looking up Logan Miller's thing, I just googled him. I found he has a vlog. He vlogs here on YouTube, so if you're interested, check that out. I'll link it down below. Anyway, so these high school students decide to make this kind of project of creating this fake haunting on their neighbor, who is James Caan. So they break in, they put up these cameras, and they set up some things so that it will happen, and then, you know, the neighbor will react in a way that they hope is like he's reacting to his house being haunted. And the way that the premise is set up and like the expectations going into it, you're like, oh, he's gonna be a murderer, he's gonna be something like that. So this movie very much felt like Disturbia. So my biggest critique with this is the plot. There were so many plot holes. At one point they were saying, because you find out that the neighbor has like a basement and he locks it, and at one point he's in there for like 7 hours and they're like, we have to get in that basement, and one of them is like, whoa, we can't go in there. And they were like, how are we gonna break into his house? And I'm like, did you not just break into his house to put all the cameras in there? Or did you forget? Like, you literally were just in his house the other day putting in these cameras. So I don't know why they were like overreacting, like, we can't go in the basement, there's a lock on it. And then my other criticisms come with spoilers, so I'm not going to talk about it yet. This movie though, I would give it like a 6 out of 10. Like, it was not that great. Like, it did not end up being scary at all. I mean, it is marketed as a thriller. Wasn't very suspenseful at all, and I'll get into that as we get into the spoilers, because I really want to talk about the ending. So if you have not seen it, I don't know if I recommend it fully, but watch it then come back, and I'm gonna start talking about spoilers right now. So my biggest critique with this movie, besides the plot holes, well, as I mentioned, the plot itself, okay, the ending, it just ended up being a drama film. Like, you want to cry, it's very sad, and that's not what I signed up for this movie. I was going into it thinking it was going to be like Disturbia, where it's like neighbors are spying on this old man who then has some kind of secret or like issues, which he did, but not what you anticipated. So there's like a twist at the end that they set up to be like a huge thing, and you were kind of like, oh my god. But then you were like kind of mad, and you were like, why would they do that to me? Like, that's so sad. And then the climax also was not very, you know, big. It was just kind of like, and then it died down. So yeah, I will say though that I really liked the very last scene, like the last second of the film. That was really good, the way they ended it. So let's get into all of that. So finally they decide to go into his house, to go into the basement, see what's going on. They find like this bell. And so he brings it back up. He has a gun, by the way, which, why would you need a gun if this whole thing's not supposed to be like violent? They've done some really messed up things to this man too. Like, you do feel sorry for him. He does start to show some like violent tendencies. He takes an axe to a door that they like keep knocking on. I mean, they aren't, but they like set it up to where it would keep like sounding like it was knocking. And so he like broke it. And so to them, they were like, he's a murderer. He's violent. So you find out through flashbacks, he sees the bell, that he had a wife who was diagnosed with cancer and who passed away. And she had this bell. He got her this bell that she would use to call out to him. And his thought process was that his wife was haunting the home. which breaks my heart because this whole time he's thinking it's his wife, and that's why he's getting upset and reacting the way that he is, because he just has this deep, dark depression that's been killing him basically over the last like 12 years without her. So then what ends up happening, the worst, like the saddest part of the movie, before you even find out anything, James Caan comes out and he sees the bell on the table and he shoots himself in the head. Now you're thinking when he comes out, he is gonna kill the kids, he's going to murder them, shoot them, but when he shoots himself, that's when it starts to be revealed his whole past, and you're like, so he was a good guy who just had depression, who was a shut-in because he couldn't get over his wife's death, and they were tormenting him for no reason, and you get angry. Like, I got mad, but it was like, not in the sense where it was like a huge twist reveal and I was like, oh my god, no, because it wasn't a horror film. It ended up being a drama film. And granted, it's not a horror film, but the trailer makes it look like there's suspense and like horror elements. I didn't get any of that. So in the end, I was just kind of upset that the end was that. I mean, if it was marketed as something else, I probably would have liked it, but it also felt very surface level. As much as deep as that storyline is and like his character and stuff like that, the whole storyline is really weak and I don't understand why the kids would even do this. That's why I give it like a 6 out of 10. It wasn't that good, and the execution of the climax of him like shooting himself wasn't anything. Like, there really wasn't a climax. Basically what happens is the kids then go to court, they get some community service and probation, and when the Logan Miller guy, when he comes out of the courthouse, he has like a little smile on his face because there's so much press. And I think that's a sign that he just really wanted to be famous or wanted to have his big break, because he's talking about his passion for this project that they're working on, kind of like it's gonna go viral. And so when he finally gets famous for something, it's not necessarily a good thing, but he doesn't see it that way. He sees it as like a success. So I thought that was interesting because he ends up being a really complex character also, in addition to the James Caan character. So it had its ups and downs. It had good points and like bad things. It just, I think it could have been executed a little bit better, with a better storyline and maybe a little bit more into the characters, and made it more, marketed it more as a drama thriller instead of a thriller horror. Those are my thoughts on The Good Neighbor. Let me know yours down below, what you think, and leave some more movie requests down below. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.